Every human being has heard these words at least once in life. You can't start from zero. You can't dream that big. You can't change your life now. It's too late. And slowly, we begin to believe that voice. Not because it's right, but because it's constant. But let me tell you a secret that very few understand. You were never born with limits. You were taught them. You inherited them from fearful people, from tired systems, from voices that stopped believing in themselves long ago. The truth is, you are limitless. But to live that truth, you must focus on it. You must give attention, time, and energy to your own potential, not your fears. See why we lose sight of our limitless nature. Think about children. No child is afraid of trying. They fall, they stand again and again and again. They don't ask, what if I fail? They simply do. But as we grow, we learn something terrible: doubt. We start to measure ourselves against others, compare progress, seek permission, and in that process, we lose the connection with our inner fire, the one that once said, I can. The greatest tragedy isn't that people fail. It's that they stop believing they can succeed. That's why the most powerful work you'll ever do is inner work. Not to become someone new, but to remember who you already are. The power of focus is not just about paying attention. It's about deciding what deserves your energy. Most people focus on their limits. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough time. I don't have enough experience. But extraordinary people focus differently. They ask, what can I do with what I have? What's the next small step toward my vision? Focus shifts everything. If you look for reasons why you can't, you'll find thousands. But if you focus on the reasons you must, you'll find power, creativity, and courage waiting inside you. Remember, energy flows where attention goes. Growth mindset, the secret to the limitless. We often think limitless means being perfect or unstoppable. It doesn't. Being limitless means understanding that every obstacle is a lesson. It means realizing that failure is not the opposite of success, it's part of it. It means knowing that growth happens not when life is easy, but when you choose to keep moving even when it's hard. People who focus on their limitless see problems as training. They treat life like a gym. Each challenge is a weight that strengthens their mind and spirit. You cannot control what happens to you, but you can always control how you respond. And that choice, that focus, is where your power begins. The infinite circle, why it never ends. Here's the most beautiful truth. There is no final version of you. You are not a finished product, you are a process. A living evolution of potential. The moment you accept that, you stop fearing change and start embracing growth. You stop waiting for confidence and start creating it through action. Every time you stretch beyond fear, you expand your limits, until one day, you look back and realize there were never any walls. Only the ones you believed in. Focus on your limitless so. Focus not on what you lack, not on what you fear. Focus on what you can build, learn, give, and become. Because the world doesn't need more people who play small. It needs people who are brave enough to live fully, to wake up every day and say, I will not be limited by fear. I will not be shaped by doubt. I will focus on my limitless. No baby doubts its ability to crawl, walk, or speak. Every step of growth begins with the natural instinct to explore. But as we grow, the world begins to draw invisible lines around us. What's possible, what's normal, what's realistic. These words slowly become our cage. We inherit fear, not from nature, but from the environment that forgot its own courage. Parents, teachers, friends, none of them mean harm, but their own unhealed doubts often echo into our minds. The truth is, limits are learned behaviors, and if you can learn them, you can also unlearn them. Your first step toward greatness is to question every can't you were ever told. You were not born to fit inside boundaries, you were born to expand them. Fear can push you to act. Doubt stops you completely. Fear tells you something is risky. Doubt tells you you are not capable. That's the subtle difference that destroys dreams. When you fear, you might still move forward, but when you doubt, you stop before you even begin. Most people don't fail because of lack of talent or opportunity. They fail because of the story they keep repeating in their own mind. I'm not ready yet. I'm not smart enough. I'm not like them. Every successful person you admire once had the same doubts. The only difference is they didn't listen. They acted despite doubt. Confidence doesn't come before action. It grows from action. Each small step weakens the voice of doubt until one day it disappears completely. The human mind is like a magnifying glass. Whatever you focus on grows stronger. Focus on your pain and it will expand. Focus on your purpose and that will grow. Most people scatter their attention. They chase too many things, worry about too many problems, and end up powerless because their energy is divided. True transformation begins when you decide, this is where my energy goes. This is what matters. When you focus on your limitless potential, your thoughts align, your habits adjust, and your decisions start serving your purpose. Remember, you can do anything, but not everything. Choose what deserves your attention wisely, because where your focus goes, your future flows. The word failure is misunderstood. People treat it like a dead end, but it's actually a reflection, a teacher, a mirror showing you where to grow. Every failure is feedback. It's life whispering, not yet, but keep going. Those who are truly limitless don't avoid failure, they study it. They ask, what can I learn here? How can I adjust, adapt, evolve? When you remove the fear of failure, you gain the freedom to experiment, to innovate, to live boldly. The most powerful truth is this: success is not built in the absence of failure. It's constructed through it. Your mistakes are not proof that you are weak. They are evidence that you are trying, learning, and growing beyond what most ever dare to attempt. Many people chase success as if it's a finish line, a point where they'll finally be complete. But the truth is, growth never ends. The moment you believe you've arrived, your decline begins. Life is movement, and movement is progress. A limitless person understands that the goal is not to reach perfection, but to continue evolving. Every season brings new lessons, new possibilities, new versions of you waiting to be discovered. The beauty of growth lies in humility, the willingness to keep learning, unlearning, and relearning. So instead of asking, am I there yet? Ask, am I growing? Because the person who keeps growing can never truly lose. Most people spend their lives seeking power, peace, happiness, and success outside themselves, in money, approval, or status. But the limitless understand something deeper. All of that comes from within. You are not chasing light, you are the light. You are not looking for strength, you are strength waiting to be realized. When you stop searching externally and start connecting internally, you awaken a force that no one can give or take away: self-belief. Every invention, every movement, every revolution began when someone stopped waiting for permission and said, I will create it. The same potential lives in you. Your journey toward the limitless doesn't begin when someone believes in you. It begins when you do. This version goes beyond motivation. It's designed to move people, make them reflect, and ignite belief in their own infinite capacity. You were not born with limits. You were taught them. When a child is born, there are no boundaries in its mind. It doesn't think about what's impossible, it simply tries. It reaches for things far away. It stumbles and falls, yet tries again, again, and again. That's the purest form of human courage, innocent persistence. But as we grow older, something changes. Slowly, the world begins to whisper in our ears, you can't do that. That's too hard. Be realistic. And at first, we resist. But over time, those whispers become beliefs. Those beliefs become walls. And before we even realize it, we begin to live inside a prison built entirely by words. Here's the truth no one told you. Limits are learned, not inherited. Every impossible you believe in was handed to you by someone else's fear. Someone who once tried, failed, and then convinced themselves that failure means never again. But you don't have to carry their story. You can write your own. You can choose to unlearn the limitations you've been taught. Because the moment you decide that your potential is greater than your fear, something magical happens. The cage door opens. You realize you were never trapped. You were simply convinced you were. The real enemy is not fear. It's doubt. Fear has a purpose. It keeps you alert, aware, alive. But doubt is poison. Fear says, be careful. Doubt says, don't even try. Fear pushes you to prepare. Doubt convinces you to surrender before you've even begun. It whispers, you're not smart enough. You're too late. You don't have what it takes. But let me ask you something. How would you live if that voice disappeared? Because here's the secret. That voice isn't reality. It's just noise. It's the leftover echo of past disappointments, of society's expectations, of your own self-comparison. Every person you admire, every innovator, every leader, every creator once faced the same voice. The only difference is they didn't let it speak louder than their dream. They understood that confidence doesn't come first. Action comes first. Confidence is simply the result of showing up, again and again, until the world starts to see what you believed all along. So when doubt says you can't, you don't argue with it, you just move, because progress silences doubt faster than any words ever can. Focus is the direction of destiny. Your mind is the most powerful weapon you'll ever own, but it's also the easiest to misuse. Most people spend their entire lives focusing on what they don't want. They replay failures. They magnify mistakes. They compare their weaknesses to someone else's strengths, and then wonder why life feels heavy. Focus is not just attention, it's creation. Whatever you focus on expands. If you focus on fear, it grows. If you focus on potential, that grows too. The question is not, can I do it? The question is, what will I choose to focus on today? Imagine sunlight passing through a magnifying glass. When scattered, it warms nothing. But when focused, it burns through steel. That's the power of focus. It turns ordinary effort into unstoppable force. Stop wasting your energy worrying about everything that's beyond your control. Channel it into what you can build, what you can improve, what you can create, because where focus goes, life flows. Failure is not the end. It's the beginning of understanding. We've been conditioned to fear failure, as if it's a final judgment. But failure is never the opposite of success. It's the foundation of it. Every great story you admire is written with chapters of failure. Every successful person carries scars, invisible reminders of lessons learned in silence. Failure is not a wall that blocks you. It's a mirror that reflects your truth. It shows you your weaknesses, yes, but also your strength to rise again. Most people stop at failure because they confuse pain with defeat. Pain doesn't mean stop, it means grow. Think about this. A seed must break before it becomes a tree. The shell must crack open for life to emerge. You too must break through the layers of fear, ego, and comfort to become who you're meant to be. So don't run from failure, study it. Don't fear the fall. Use it to find your wings. The people who reach greatness are not the ones who never fall. They are the ones who decide that falling is just another way of moving forward. Growth is the purpose of being alive. Some people live as if success is a final destination, a point on the map where life finally feels complete. But the truth is, growth has no finish line. The moment you stop learning, you start dying. The moment you stop evolving, life begins to fade. The most fulfilled people in the world are not those who have made it. They are the ones who keep making themselves better. Growth doesn't always mean moving fast. Sometimes it means standing still long enough to understand yourself. Sometimes it means letting go, forgiving, or starting again when no one is watching. You will never find your limit because there isn't one. Every time you reach a new height, another mountain appears. That's not failure. That's life inviting you to evolve. So don't be afraid of not being there yet. Be afraid of never growing again, because in the end, success isn't about what you achieve. It's about who you become in the process. You are the source, not the seeker. Most people spend their lives searching for happiness, strength, or peace, as if those things exist somewhere out there. But you are not meant to chase them. You are meant to create them. You are the source. You are the beginning of every change you wish to see. When you stop begging the world to believe in you and start believing in yourself, everything shifts. The moment you stop waiting for someone to give you permission, Life begins to open doors you never even saw before. The truth is, there's no secret formula. There's no chosen few. There's just a choice every single day to act like you are limitless. And the world responds to that kind of energy, because people who believe deeply in their vision don't need to convince others. Their conviction becomes contagious. So stop seeking the light and realize you are the light. Stop searching for strength and remember, you are strength in motion. Stop trying to find your worth and know, you were born worthy. Final reflection, the journey of the limitless you are not your past. You are not your mistakes. You are not your failures, your fears, or the opinions that tried to define you. You are the limitless possibility of what happens when a human being finally decides to wake up, to stop being average, to stop being silent, and to start living intentionally. The most beautiful thing about focusing on your limitless is that it doesn't just change you, it changes everyone who watches you. Because when one person chooses to rise, others remember they can rise too. So here's your challenge. Stop asking, what if I fail? Start asking, what if I fly? And even if you fall 100 times, remember every time you stand again, you're proving something extraordinary, that the human spirit, when focused on its limitless nature, becomes unstoppable. Focus on your limitless, not as a slogan, but as a daily decision, because you were never created to be ordinary. You were created to show the world what limitless looks like when it finally believes in itself.